So when I saw this lecture alarm online, I thought this was a fourth dial that I had never seen. Kind of excited to get it, paid way too much for it. But when I got it, what I realized was that somebody had cleaned this very harshly. And what had happened was all of the red paint had been removed and the black stayed on. So I have a good dial. So I made copies of this on decal paper using this particular decal paper for the first time. Follow the directions and we'll see what happens. What it says is to put the decal in water and leave it there for 30 seconds to a minute. I'm going to leave it in there for a minute. And well, the idea is after a minute, the paper backing will come loose and will enable me to slide the decal onto the clock face. What I like to do to help the decal slide is put some water on the clock face. That way there's less friction. When I've done these before, I used a particular type of decal paper, which was the cheapest one that I could find. And I'm thinking now that that might have worked against me. I'm hoping that this decal paper will be better, will be easier to work with. It doesn't say on the directions to pull this out and leave it sit, but in my experience, I let it sit in the water for 1 minute. It's room temperature water, and then let it sit for 1 minute, just letting the decal paper absorb the water, and then I'll attempt to slide the decal off the paper. So with this, I've done this a bunch of times. It doesn't always work out. When I made decals of this good face, I made multiple copies, because what I actually expect is that it won't work and I'll have to do it again until I get it right. So we'll see what happens. Hoping, like I said, that this decal paper will be superior to the other stuff that I've been using, which a real crapshoot, but we'll find out. So now it's been sitting for a minute, and what I usually am looking for is this to be flat, because what that means to me is that the paper has absorbed all the water. But this is the first time using this. I'm just gonna go ahead and see what we get, and I am getting some movement, so that's a good sign. What I'm gonna have to do with this is line it up exactly, because there's still some original print that we don't want to be showing through. And it isn't as hard to line it up as a person might think. Let's say that we got it right there. Now this is unusual for me because the other paper, there was no white, so it was a lot easier to see that I had it lined up exactly. But I can see through to the old print, and I'm not seeing any of the old print. So, and when I push in here, it appears that that is where it's supposed to be. So I like this paper better, that's for sure. Did not realize though that I couldn't see through it, and that could be a problem. So now what I'm going to do is just allow this to dry. Don't want any air bubbles in there if I can help it. Once it dries, it should be very easy to trim. In there and in there, here, and around the edge. It's going to be a real kind of brittle situation. I just take an X-Acto knife, and I should be able to just trim it very easily.